There is little escape from Big Brother watching us with security cameras following us in shops and while we walk down the street. But what about private investigators who may just be spying over your shoulder? In Britain, their numbers have grown and most are neither licensed or registered, and that's because there's no proper regulation for people working as private eyes. Sarah Firth investigates.
If I'm paid to watch somebody, I'll watch them.
I mean, unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there, and they'll use bribery, they'll use corruption, they'll slip a backhander in.
It's not difficult to make yourself invisible. It's more difficult to be relaxed while you're doing it. Because when you first start, you're always thinking, oh my goodness, they know, I just know they know. But actually, they don't.
There are now an estimated 10,000 private investigators operating in Britain. Despite being perceived as a shadowy world of whispers and secrets, the industry continues to grow. In fact, it's moving from the shadows and onto the high streets. As the cost of covert devices falls, more and more individuals are making use of surveillance gadgets easily available in stores like this one. And the world of private investigation is attracting some interesting characters.
I'm just not suspected at all.
Just 21 years old, Olivia's worked at Answers Investigations for a year now, and she knows her way around the covert equipment well. She's fast learning the tricks of the trade.
Electoral rolls, marriage and death certificates, you can get hold of all of that kind of stuff, and it's all available. It does shock quite a lot of people, mainly because obviously the information is there, it's always been there, but they just assume that, I think, their assumptions in the Data Protection Act is there's nothing available on them.
Recently, the law governing public surveillance in the UK was changed. The Protection of Freedoms Act 2012 was introduced, ensuring local authorities obtain legal authorisation before they put anyone under surveillance, after it was revealed that many were using surveillance for minor matters such as littering. For private investigators, though, no such law exists.
So if I can go out and do surveillance, I don't have to get any authorities from anybody if it's ordinary surveillance one-to-one.
A recent report by Big Brother Watch documented local authorities who were bypassing regulation by hiring private investigators.
Please be aware that your call may be recorded for monitoring.
It's why many are now calling for industry licensing.
I think it's absolutely essential that we have some kind of regulation over private investigators, a licensing system that means that we know who exactly is licensed and the means of surveillance that they're using.
Having spent 30 years in the police force, former Detective Inspector James Harrison Griffiths knows well the risks of private investigation in the wrong hands.
You've read about honour killings and all that sort of thing that go on when people disappear, and there's a lot of people disappear. They're under pressure from people to do certain things that they don't want to do. And then the people that are pressurising them want to find them, and you've got to do your due diligence and make sure that you're not putting anybody in a position of danger.
But with covert cameras, listening devices, tracking devices and much more, all now available cheaply on the high street, these days anyone, it seems, can be a private investigator.
There's nothing secret anymore in this country, is there? I mean, walking down the high street, you're under surveillance. Surveillance is surveillance. It's just there. It's what happens. It's a way of life now, isn't it?
But the lack of regulation means that in the UK right now, whilst anyone can at any time be watching you, no one is watching them. Sarah Firth, RT, London.